2025 truly has been all about the return of fun and interesting highlighters. I feel like we've gotten some really fun formulas, shades, and textures. So let's go ahead and talk about and swatch and try on a whole bunch of formulas that I've tried recently. This is the type of video I get incredibly excited for. I actually made one a few months ago, and I really wanted to do another one like this after I'd had some more time to try some newer highlighters out on the market. Some of these shades are definitely sparkly, and if you're not into a sparkly highlight, I think they're also a lot of fun used as inner corner shades, brow bone shades, and eyeshadow toppers. If you're someone who enjoys highlighters, I do think I have a lot of great options here, so let's go ahead and get into it. First, we're going to start off with some shades from Dieverune. I have definitely mentioned them several times before, and their highlighters are some of my favorite products. This is the shade Ghost Orchid, and what's really cool about this one is that it's a split pan, so you actually get two shades, and what you can do is use each shade on their own, or you can mix them together. That gives you a lot of options, and you can see as I'm swatching them on my finger that you get one that is sort of a pinky red iridescent, and the other one is a blue purple that has kind of reddish sparkles in it. I've actually had some people ask me about good options for red iridescent highlighters, and I think actually this one is definitely one that should be considered. It does have a little bit of pink in it, but it's quite a bit more red on the skin than I expected. In my little application demo, I actually put it on my eyes and on my cheeks and the high points of my face. This is a beautiful shade and definitely one I think will flatter a wide range of skin tones. Next, we have the shade Fanged Flora. This is also brand new from Dieverune, and it's another split pan. So same idea, you can get a whole lot of different looks out of this one by using them individually or mixing them together. On one side, you have a shade that's sort of a blue and green shifting iridescent. And on the other side, you get an iridescent that's packed with multicolored sparkles. And these highlighters from Dieverune retail for $24. They have some really special pigments in them, and I do believe you can use non-affiliate codes to save. Again, if you're someone who doesn't want to wear a sparkly highlighter, these multicolored sparkle shades are still really versatile. I find myself always hoping that Dieverune is going to include a highlighter when they have a new launch. They just come up with such cool shades and ones that I've never seen before. The third shade I have is also from Dieverune. It's from the collection that came out pretty recently. It was in collaboration with Andromeda, and it included this highlighter called Opal. This highlighter has a kind of pale green base, and it's packed with rainbow multicolored sparkles. I really appreciate how a lot of the sparkly highlighters from Dieverune are still incredibly smooth in texture. I just find it makes them very easy to work with and apply either with your finger or with a brush. Because of that green base, it definitely looks like a green highlighter when I apply it on my skin. And especially because I have an olive undertone, I really love green highlighters on my skin tone. I actually ended up liking this one a lot as a face highlight. Okay, now I have a highlighter from Girlcult. This came out within the last couple of months as a part of their recent collection, and I honestly think this is one of the coolest highlights that they've done. When it comes to aesthetics, they always nail it, but some of the highlighters have kind of not had a lot of punch, and they've also had some shades when it comes to face products that haven't worked as well for deeper skin tones, but I think this is a beautiful product. This is a cream formula, and it's packed with silver and blue and red sparkles. The compact itself, of course, is very aesthetically pleasing, and you get that kind of embossed sun on the product itself. If this is the direction that Girlcult is going when it comes to their face products, I love it. They even had a few more inclusive blush shades this time around. Okay, the next highlighter I have is from Beaute Bar, and they recently came out with a collection called the Dark Dreamscape collection. I was particularly drawn to this collection because I love blues and purples, and this highlighter is a very glowy blue-purple highlight. When it comes to really bright highlighters, this is definitely a tone that excites me, and I think it looks nice on a wide range of skin tones. They don't always include highlighters in their collections, but when they do, I get really excited because the few that I have from them are pretty cool. They have one called Skin of a Killer that's like sheer sparkle, and another one that's a minty green as a part of their Green Goddess collection. Of all the ones they've come out with though, this one is probably my favorite. Next shade I have is from Lethal Cosmetics, and they recently did a collaboration with The Conjuring. I actually did a dedicated video on this collection. I'm going to link it in the cards. Lethal has a really nice highlighter formula. This one feels smooth to the touch even though it's sparkly. It's very glowy. It has a fiery shift and it has orange and yellow and red. I have tried applying it both with my finger and with a brush, and they both work. I definitely preferred using it with a finger, but if you're going for something a little bit more subtle, then I would go for a brush. In general, when it comes to chrome products like duochromes and multichromes, I really think that Lethal has come a far way, to the point where I really do get excited about their shimmer shadows, their highlighters, their sparkly products in general. And there's just something about the texture of their sparkly products that I find to be very approachable. Okay, now we have to talk about the Diamond Bombs from Fenty that came out a few months ago. They added some new shades, including this one called Pink Ice. There are some similarities between Lavender Lover and Pink Ice, but Pink Ice definitely does look more pink when applied on the skin. In the shade, you get pink, blue, and red sparkles. I was so incredibly excited that they added some fun shades to the Diamond Bomb line. I personally really enjoy the formula. I love the scattered sparkle effect that you get with the Diamond Bomb. I know that's not for everyone. It's the type of formula that when you apply it to your cheeks, there's certain angles that you're not going to see it, and then you turn your face and you're going to have that more ethereal wash of pigment and sparkle. But the sparkles in Diamond Bomb are so fine that I find that this type of formula is approachable to a lot of people. They also came out with Trophy Wife, and I believe that this is a new Diamond Bomb shade. It does exist in their Kilowatt foil highlight formula, but if you've tried that formula, you know that it's completely different than the Diamond Bomb. That formula is exactly what it sounds like. It's very foiled. It's basically the opposite of a scattered sparkle effect. I actually really like the way that gold highlighters look on me. I do find myself gravitating to a lot of cool tones, but I must admit that when I actually use warm toned highlighters, I'm definitely reminded that I should use them more often. I also want to mention that I do believe this is the only gold Diamond Bomb that Fenty has right now. They honestly need to make this one permanent because I feel like a permanent gold Diamond Bomb would do really well in their line. The third Diamond Bomb shade that Fenty came out with a few months ago is Lavender Lover. This is probably the shade that I was most excited about, especially when I saw a purple Diamond Bomb. Fenty has come out with so many pretty sparkly purple products this year, from their purple shadow stick to all of their gloss bombs, so I just love that they came out with a purple Diamond Bomb as well. This one has purple and blue and silver sparkles. I've also gotten some questions about how intense the sparkles are in these formulas compared to their OG How Many Carats. I would say that if you're familiar with Rosé Rave, which is one of their other shades, these two, Lavender Lover and Pink Ice, are more like that. Trophy Wife is a little bit more like How Many Carats, but maybe not quite as amped up. There's something about this shade that just hits right for me. And here is what all of the shades I just talked about look like swatched on my arm. All of my labels are from the wrist down. Let's go ahead and get into the second set of highlighters that I picked out. Okay, next we have a shade from Rituel de Fille. This is their Purple Rare Light Cream Luminizer, and it's in the shade Sylvanshine. I have talked about this formula so many times, and the reason why is because I absolutely love it. It comes in so many shades. And if you're looking for highlighters that provide pure glow, then this is a great formula to try. Something I do like to mention about Rituel de Fille is that they do have some natural ingredients, and I've heard a couple of people tell me that they don't get on that well with them, but a lot of people I know do have a great experience like me. So if you're new to this formula, I do recommend picking up one shade rather than multiple just to see if it works for you. Sylvanshine is a shade that goes in and out of stock, I believe, but they usually always have at least some fun and exciting shades available. Next, I have a highlighter from r.e.m Beauty, and this is a part of the Wicked collection. It's in the Glinda set. I think this formula from r.e.m is really fun. The only thing about this one is that it's only a part of the set, so you can't buy it individually. However, if you wanted to try this formula and a shade that's similar but not quite the same, you could also try Fembot. This shade from the Glinda set is kind of like a sheer wash of sparkle. You also get a little bit of green and pink in there. Fembot is a lot more about the blue leaning sparkle because all of the shades in that collection have a blue shift. I think r.e.m. Beauty has really come out with a lot of fun launches this year and formulas, and I love that they're leaning into some of these more kind of sparkly and fun products. Okay, next I have a couple of highlighters from NYX. These were part of the Bridgerton collection, and these are honestly my favorite part of the whole collection. The shades were also brand new for the launch, which is something I love to see. This is the shade Iridescent Peach. If you haven't tried the highlighter formula from NYX, it's definitely one that I would recommend, and for a number of reasons. One, I think the formula is very approachable. The textures on most of the shades I would say is very approachable. They're also budget friendly, and they have a bunch of fun shades. And this shade I honestly do wish was permanent in the line because look how cool this one is. It's like a kind of peachy pink duochrome. It's definitely an intense highlighter for sure, but there's something that just feels elevated about this formula. The other highlighter shade that came out in this collection is called Light Gold. The texture of it feels very similar to Iridescent Peach. So again, intense formula where you get a lot of pigment. It feels smooth to the touch. This is just such a pretty tone of gold, and I don't know, maybe you can see what I mean when I say there's just something elevated about these highlighters. This one actually reminds me of one that came from Charlotte Tilbury several years ago. I think it was called Bar of Gold. But honestly, the one from this NYX collection, I would say, has even more impact than those Charlotte Tilbury ones. Also, if you were to compare this to Fenty's Trophy Wife, I think that if you're looking for something that has less of that scattered gold effect, then this might be a better option. But obviously, it depends on the type of effect you're going for. The Diamond Bomb, of course, is much pricier than the NYX highlighters. Okay, next I have a formula from Wet n Wild Beauty. These are their new jelly highlighters that are part of the Disney Villain collection. This collection from Wet n Wild was so well done. It included so many fun products, and these highlighters really were some of my favorite pieces from their collection. And I think I may have mentioned this in a prior video, but the packaging is exactly like the new highlighters from Moira. Just in terms of the components themselves, this is the shade Cast Spell, which is my own personal favorite because it's a green highlighter. In all of the jelly highlights that have come out recently, I haven't seen any green shades besides this one. I love how easily this formula is to apply right from the component, or if you wanted to like take a little bit on your fingertip and dab it into your inner corner or your brow bone, you can do it like that as well. In terms of differences between the formulas, I do think there's some. I think that the formula from Wet n Wild is maybe a little bit less glittery. Not to say that it's not glittery, but it seems like it's slightly more buildable, so I had a little bit easier time using it than I did the Moira formula. But obviously they're both very affordable and great options. The shade that I'm swatching here is called Infamous. It's a really pretty pale blue purple, and it has some hints of pink sparkle in there as well. With some of these really shifty shades, I'm not sure how they will end up looking on my skin, but I was very pleasantly surprised that when I applied this one, it actually still retained some of that blue. If you've had that experience of shades completely looking different when you apply them, then definitely let me know in the comments. The third and final shade that I got from the Wet n Wild x Disney Villains collection is the pink one. The shade is called Unpredictable, and because I already had a highlight on each of my two cheeks, I ended up using it on my nose, inner corners, and brow bone just to show you some other ways you can use it and how easy it is to apply it. Seeing all of these fun highlighters come out from Wet n Wild Beauty has really got me excited for what's in store in the future. Alright, now that I've had a chance to swatch and try on these really fun highlighters, I'd love to hear in the comments if you've tried any of these formulas or if you've tried any fun and exciting highlighters recently. Also, let me know in the comments if you have any favorite shades or favorite ways to use these fun highlighters. I'd love to hear more down in the comments. As always, I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.